This menu music goes way too hard. Let there be light. Today we're revisiting Black Ops Cold War. Before we even hop into a game, I just have to see what are my classes looking like. XM4, Vargo 52, LC10. Alright, yeah, we got some good stuff going here. We'll just go ahead and dive into a TDM. They do have Nuketown 24/7, but I feel like everybody that makes Cold War videos is probably like going straight to Nuketown, so we'll do something a little different. Let's just take a minute to admire the mastery camos in this game. First off, Dark Ether coming back from Black Ops 3, you know, with like the whole Dark Matter thing. I know Black Ops 4 also had it, but this is like Black Ops 3 Dark Matter in its purest form. And then we got DM Ultra, and the menus, it doesn't look as good, but in-game, chef's kiss. Oh, that's right, this game actually did have map voting. It's funny, right? They only took it away for like 2 games, but it felt like it was away for even longer than that. Modern Warfare 2 didn't have it. Vanguard didn't have it. At least I don't think Vanguard didn't have it, but you know, Cold War actually did have it. Ghostface in this game is still the only bundle in Call of Duty that I've ever actually paid like real money for, and I do not regret it. Alright, we got Crossroads Strike. I literally just played this map like a couple of days ago, because this map is on Call of Duty Mobile, which again, Call of Duty Mobile, I wish it was on more platforms, like even if it was just like on Nintendo Switch or something like that. Just, I mean, I feel like it would actually work really well on the Switch. Lord knows it could definitely run the game too. Okay, it looks like the gunfights are starting up immediately. That's one of the things I love about Cold War. Like, sure, you know, the fast games are also like really fast-paced and gunfights start immediately, but considering just how much Cold War feels like an old school Call of Duty, there's just something about rushing into combat in this game that it feels different, right? It feels old school in the best way possible. Because while yes, it's something like Modern Warfare 3, you know, you're moving fast all of the time, right? There's combat happening like every second of the game, but in an old school game like this, there's something about rushing into combat where, like, even though, yes, something like Modern Warfare 3 is technically fast with attack sprinting and the movement overall, in these old school games, it feels even more chaotic when you are actually rushing into the combat. And furthermore, like, the combat is even more elevated, I would say, or at least, like, the tenseness of it, just because there isn't combat happening, like, every second of the match. You spend a decent amount of time just, like, you know, running around the map, looking for your enemies, and then once you find your enemies and once you get, like, that good position, then that's when you start going on streaks, and it becomes a mishmash of not only does your positioning matter, but also like your movement matters, which is also like just one of the things that I loved about old school Call of Duty. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to go on like a whole dissing session towards the new Call of Duty. I mean, obviously I still make tons of videos on the new COD games. I literally play it like almost on a daily basis. I hit the max ranks every season, max out the battle pass, you know, I do all the stuff. But, you know, I'm an old head. I've been with this franchise for almost as long as it's been around, and you know, obviously I got some love for that old school style of the game. It sucks. My muscle memory is kind of messing with me right now, just because like my brain, you know, it's comprehending that this is Call of Duty and this is a Call of Duty where I can slide, so I keep like trying to like slide cancel and do all that, but like I don't know, it just feels wrong in this game, right? Like, I'd rather just kind of run around and sprint normally, whereas, you know, something like Modern Warfare 3, I just kind of, like, slide cancel around all the time, and it's not even like I'm one of those players that slide cancels for the competitive advantage or anything. Like, I don't care about that at all. It's literally just, like, an OCD thing. Like, my OCD having brain just finds it, oh, no, that's a sentry gun, get away! My OCD having brain just finds it so satisfying to, like, slide cancel over and over again and just get in that animation loop. Like, I don't even care about the competitive advantage. It's literally just my OCD brain that makes me do it, and furthermore, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if I do it once, then my OCD is like, okay, you gotta do it 5 times, and then 10 times. It's just a really weird thing. I just realized that the operator I'm playing as is Arthur from Vanguard, because that was the time where, like, you know, I mean, they still do this, where when you pre-order the next game, they give you, like, a special operator in the previous game, and it was funny for a while when, you know, we had that continuity between, like, Infinity Ward, and then Treyarch, and then Sledgehammer games, and it's probably gonna happen again this year, so we're probably gonna get, like, a Black Ops character, probably, like, Woods, or Mason, or Adler, or something like that in Modern Warfare 3, but I always just thought it was funny how we had like Woods in Modern Warfare 2019, and then we had Captain Price and Kingsley here in Cold War. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what the one was for Vanguard. I think they had a pre-order bonus for that one, but I honestly can't remember which character it was. Since this map is so sunny, let's just take a minute to admire the mastery camos actually in-game. Like, here's Dark Ether. I gotta say, like, between the two of them, even though oh, wait, yo, I was just trying to look at my camos. Even though Dark Ether definitely is the easier of the two to get, like, you know, DM Ultra does look good in certain situations, in certain lighting. The flow of the camo does look really nice. It just depends on when you catch it, because sometimes it's like a bluish, purplish type thing, but then it almost goes like kind of gray sometimes, but I really like when like the blues and the purples are kind of like really shining through. But Dark Ether, man, like this is basically just classic Dark, like this is a classic. Yo, Attack Helic, can you chill out, homie? I'm just trying to look at my like you keep blasting me, like I just, what did I do to you? Let's go ahead and try to snipe. We got the LW3 Tundra here. Of course I was using the anime waifu. You can see her right there, she's laying there with the sniper. You got the anime girl drill on the magazine. I'm a weeb and I'm proud. Oh, look at that. Somebody else is using the street sweeper of the game. You love to see it. Somehow we were defeated 78 to 100. But again, it's just like the old school COD games where it's like, man, I don't even care. I'm just glad to be here. You know what I mean? It's also nice going back to these older games because I'm not gonna lie, with the newer ones, sometimes it kind of feels like the game is playing you with like SPMM and everything like that. But when you go back to an older game, you're the one playing the game. There are some pretty rad operators in this game too. And this was before we had like, you know, all the crossovers and stuff. I mean, there was some crossovers in this game, don't get me wrong. But this was like way before, you know, we got to the era that we're in now with like Aurora Borealis. Were they hinting at it like 2 years, 3 years in advance? See, I used to always rock this one, but like, I don't know, man, that, the Ascension one does look pretty cool too, but then again, that one might make me sick. I don't know, I mean, which one do I want to go with? Do I go Borealis or... You know what? I always rock the Borealis one. I'll switch it up and go Ascension. We got Slums or Drive It. Oh, man, I forgot Slums was in this game. I literally always talk about wanting COD Mobile on, you know, console and stuff like that, and I still mean that, but, like, Cold War really was already kind of like a best of Call of Duty, except it was more just, like, a best of the Black Ops games. Which, hey, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the Call of Duty games, as much as I love Modern Warfare, when it comes to Call of Duty, I love the campaigns, the multiplayer, and the zombies. And even though we do have zombies in Modern Warfare 3, I mean, it's different in the Black Ops games, you know what I mean? Black Ops 2, still my favorite COD of all time. I was talking about something else before, but then I completely cut myself. Oh, yeah, you know, like, this was before the era of, you know, all the crazy crossovers like we have today with, like, what was it, like, Cheech and Chong, The Boys, 21 Savage, Godzilla and Kong, like, you know, like, some of that stuff is cool. Like, Godzilla and Kong, like, yeah, I was talking about it in the video when they had first announced it. I grew up loving, like, you know, the Godzilla movie from the 90s. Similarly with King Kong, I've watched the Peter Jackson movie like tons of times. I only saw the original one like from the I forget what it how early was that movie? Was it the 50s or the 30s or something like that? All I know is that the original King Kong is a really old movie, but I only saw that one time. But I watched the Peter Jackson one, the one that's like 3 hours, like many times. I love that movie as well. So yeah, I'm personally biased and I'm cool with some of the bundles like that, but stuff like 21 Savage and Nicki Minaj and like some of the other things that we saw in there, like The Boys and stuff like that, like on one hand, yeah, it's kind of cool that all that stuff's coming to Call of Duty, but the more that they push these crossovers and bundles and stuff like that, I don't know, I just feel like it kind of starts to hurt the identity of the game. Sorry, I know I'm sniping like an absolute noob right now, but it's real different coming from MW3, because this was the era when they were still trying to penalize snipers, and I mean, to a certain extent, they're still doing that in the current games, but like the ADS speed and like the sprint to fire and like, it's definitely a lot different, so it's gonna take me a minute to get used to it. I used to be decent at sniping on this game, but yeah, definitely gonna take me a minute to get readjusted here. There we go. I've never claimed to be the best at sniping, not even close. It's just one of those things that I kind of do for fun from time to time, but yeah, I'm getting smoked right now. So let's go ahead and switch it out. Let's see. Let's go with the Roman Opulence, the MP5. We got the PM63, or in this game, the AMP63 as our secondaries, man. I love how this really is just like a best of Black Ops game, which kind of makes me scared for Gulf War. I mean, that's what it's leaked to be called. No clue if that'll actually be the real name. It's been leaked left, right, and center, so it probably is, but whatever the next Black Ops game is. Like, Cold War is so good, and it has so much content in it, and all this stuff from all the other Dude, this person on the other team, the one with the Asian gamer oh, yeah, wow, there's a lot of... He's 20-1? Are these guys, like, hacking, or are they just, like, you know what? I'll just sit in the corner, man. Like, y'all have my respect. But Cold War is so good, and it has so much content in it, and furthermore, I'm pretty sure the next Black Ops game probably going to be running on the Modern Warfare engine, and as cool as the Modern Warfare engine is, one of the main reasons I keep going back to Cold War time after time again, and one of the main reasons that it's still like one of my most played Call of Duties, not just in general, but also like one of the games that I just, you know, keep on rotation and constantly keep playing even as new games keep coming out, is because of how much it feels like a classic Call of Duty game. When I play this game, you know, it's not like Black Ops 4 where there's still like the hero shooter mechanics, because, you know, Black Ops 4, sure, it was still like a boots on the ground game, but it also had 150 HP and all the specialist stuff, and I'm not saying that any of that stuff is bad. Obviously, I love Modern Warfare 3, that's a 150 HP game, but when I'm just looking for that core classic Call of Duty experience, when it comes to Black Ops at least, you really have to go all the way back to Black Ops 2 if you want a game with 100 HP, boots on the ground, just like classic Call of Duty formula. And Cold War, again, it's the closest thing that we've had to that. It's really since 2012, because Black Ops 3, we had the, you know, all the jetpacks and stuff. Black Ops 4 didn't have as many classic maps in it. It still had some classic maps, but not as many. And then again, it was still boots on the ground. We had 150 HP, the specialists, and all these other mechanics and systems in the game. And even if they go through and bring back a bunch of this content into like Gulf War, right? Like a bunch of the Black Ops 1 maps, Black Ops 2 maps, maybe even if they go back and bring back like, I don't know, even maps from like Cold War or Call of Duty World at War. Heck, they could maybe even find a way to go back and bring back some maps from their very first game, Call of Duty 3, because that's the first one that Treyarch developed themselves. By the way, I just kind of gave up on trying this game. The people on the other team, I don't know what they're on. I don't know if they're hacking, but I'm letting them do their thing. But even if they bring back these maps, I mean, when you like factor in all the crazy movement and slide canceling and tack sprinting and all that, like if you play a map like this, right? Like you run through this building in Cold War and it just kind of, you know, it just feels like you're running in a Call of Duty game. Whereas if it was Modern Warfare 3, you'd be tack sprinting, running into the doorways, running into the corners, you know, at least for the players that aren't as acquainted with this stuff, because for a player like me, yeah, I've been playing this map for 12 years, but you know, there is a lot of tight corners on this map. So if you would try to like tack sprint around like a map like this, like a classic Call of Duty map, sure, it might work, but we've seen it happen time and time again with the remastered Modern Warfare 2 maps this year, where it's like, yes, the maps are still playable and are very fun for the nostalgic boomers like me and many others that were there for the Modern Warfare 2 times. I'll just clarify, the Modern Warfare 2 2009 times, not 2022. We know those maps better than the back of our hand, so of course we don't have any issues with it, but for some of the newer players and even for some of the veteran players, like, you know, even me myself, I can say, yeah, there was a couple of times where replaying those maps with the new movement, yeah, there's times where you might run into a wall or you'd be like, okay, I gotta take this corner really tight, almost like you're like driving a golf cart, tack sprinting, and like, all right, I gotta just around the corner real quick. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just two different, like completely different movement systems. And again, like the movement systems are a huge thing that kind of factor into like what separates new Call of Duty from old Call of Duty. It's not all of it, because there's a lot of other things obviously when it comes to like matchmaking and create a class and just a myriad of other things that we can list. And again, I'm not trying to say that one thing is objectively better than the other, because obviously if a game has Call of Duty in the title, I'm gonna love it regardless. I'm a shill and I'm proud. That's just how it is. It's just that obviously it is two different types of gameplay, two different types of mechanics and engines and stuff like that. So we'll just kind of have to see how it all shakes out. I'm at least intrigued to see what Treyarch does with this new engine, but I am gonna miss games like Cold War. Just classic COD, man. Call it nostalgia, call it whatever you want, I don't care. For the youngins that simply weren't there, they'll keep calling it nostalgia because they have no knowledge or relevant input that they can actually provide on the topic, so they can keep sitting there and calling it nostalgia and being all, you know, ignorant. But for the people that have objective knowledge and experience with these classic games, they know it just hits different. But anyways, yeah, I went back to Cold War and I don't want to leave. I'll probably end up spending the day on Cold War now. Every time I make a video on this game, I end up spending the rest of the day, if not a couple of days on it. So I'll be bouncing between the multiplayer and the zombies and stuff like that. And, you know, if you guys would be interested, I'd be more than happy to hit you guys with a zombies video sometime soon. I was also going to mention this at the beginning of the video, but in my opinion, Cold War is an S tier Call of Duty. I'll end the video with that. But anyway, as always, massive shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members. Thank you to all you in the low baller tier, and even bigger shout out, thank you to all you in the mid baller tier. Middle last can be dad man, the bigger shout out, thank you to all in the G tier. Run events, some cheese go. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.